It's May 2022, and it's the end of the NRL 2021-2022 season. The national championships are going on right now as I'm recording this. I'm not there. I couldn't make it just because of travel and whatnot. It's just, it's hard for me to get out there, so I'm not at nationals. But I wanted to go ahead and just kind of wrap up how I finished up the year in terms of my gear, because lots of things change, generally speaking, and I already have a video regarding my NRL 22 gear that I recorded last year in 2021. So it's probably a nice idea just to go over kind of where we are right now at the end of the season. So we finished up basically as we started. I have a Vudoo Gunworks V22 Gen 1 with a 1.2 bolts. Got the Vudoo bolt shroud, not the Remington 700 bolt shroud, which modifies the firing pin just a little bit. We have a 20-inch Bartlein barrel MT Yukon Tour, 1/16 twist. Triggertech diamond trigger. I believe it's around 20 ounces or so, 18 ounces, less than that. No, actually 16 ounces a pound, so it's under a pound for sure. So I'm hovering around 14 to 12 ounces rather. It all sits in an MPA BA comp chassis in flat dark earth. The action and the barreled action is an FDE as well. On top of it, we have a zero compromise Optic ZC527 with the Impact 3X reticle. It's in the Spuhr 6002 rings, which is basically 36 millimeter diameter with no cant. And the base is a Vudoo base, but at 60 minutes. And I have it zeroed at 50 yards. On the side of the gun, we have the Send It level, the MV3. So I have that on the side of the gun here. That works out for me in terms of having a nice level for my gun. I like the electronic level. I feel it's a good option. I like the way it resets. So, I have an article that I wrote that defines that. So just check that out if you want to know more about why I chose it. But that's what I'm running now. And then I use a Cole-Tac, I don't know what they call this thing, but it's just a dope card holder, and it came free with the NRL22 members package from last year or this past year. And then on the scope, a lot of people ask what I run for the scope cover. This is just a Chaps scope cover, scopechaps.com. Check them out. But I run that pretty much on most of my scopes now, at least my high-end scopes. But that's my rifle. I don't think I forgot anything. Oh, sorry. Ckye-Pod. I've been running the Ckye-Pod pretty much all season. MDT Ckye-Pod, the standard pull, not the PRS pull. I think you want the standard pull just to have a little bit more starting height. I think the PRS one is just too short anyway, because you'll want to get more length. So that's why I like the standard pull. It has the Really Right Stuff clamp, which is pick rail and arca rail. And also one other thing, I finished out the season with weights in the gun. I added a bunch of weights, internal weights and the external weights, and it's still not 100% balanced. I think it's balanced right here. It's still back heavy. If I move the bipod to the spigot mount, it should balance. It's still a little bit back heavy. So this is kind of the weird thing with the MPA BA comp. I just can't get this gun balanced 100% right there. MDTs, the ACC chassis, you can do it because it's a longer forend. You're getting the weights farther out, so you get more of that fulcrum point farther out from the balance point, so that helps you out in terms of your weights. That should be it for the gun. I can't think of anything else here. As far as the ammo, running Center X as always. I've been to the Lapua Rimfire Performance Center, so I have a case of ammo still not opened yet, which is going to shoot great in this gun. As far as the bags, I'm pretty much set. I kind of finished up with 3. I have the Schmedium. This is the Armageddon gear / Reasor Precision Game Changer Schmedium bag. On this Air 419 Rail Changer plate, I have the Cole-Tac D bag, and then I have the Cole-Tac Mega bag. These 3 are pretty much what I can survive with pretty much in any match, any NRL22 match. And if I had to trim it down to just one, it would just be this. But I've tried to trim. I bring a lot of bags with me to every match. I'm a match director, but I like to bring a lot of bags just so people can borrow some and try them out, because a lot of people come, don't have bags, and need to see what's out there. And so I bring a ton of bags so that they can try them out and see which one works for them. But for me, I've kind of finished up with these 3. Less use of this. Most of the time I don't even try to use this anymore, but I just keep this just in case. But generally, these are the main 2. So primary, secondary, and kind of a supplementary bag with the D bag. Still have a sling just in case, the short action precision sling, the sap sling. Still use this when we have positional stages. And then I have 6 mags. Generally speaking, I carry 6 plus 1, actually 7 mags, plus more aluminum mags. But in general, I have a ton of mags. This is what I run. And then as far as carrying it, I've settled on this Blue Alpha Gear belt. And for those of you not familiar with it, it's basically a battle belt, sort of. There's an internal belt, which is their kind of their low-profile EDC belt, and it's got hook and loop. Well, it's got hook on our loop on this side, and then there's hook on the outer belt, which just kind of attaches here with a Cobra buckle. But I can just take it off. But I actually have my microphone. Hopefully this doesn't disconnect, because this is what I'm recording on. Sorry here. Lots of stuff going on with this. Apologize for that. But here's the belt, and I have a bunch of pouches on here. But on the left side is where I carry 2 mags, 2 Vudoo mags, and these AICS mags pouches from Armageddon gear. Behind this is just a no-name, all-purpose bag that I use to carry just random stuff like my microphone when I'm recording walkthroughs for the stages. And then on this little bungee shock cord, I have this is the mag loader for Vudoo. Just polymer, it looks like it's 3D printed, but I keep this around just in case I need to load mags and avoid rim lock. I just use that just in case. Then on the right side, around the 2 or 3 o'clock position, I have 2 pouches. One is for my Kestrel. This one is from FHF Gear. Carries my Kestrel here. And then my Kestrel 5700 Elite. And then I have my SIG Kilo 2000 in a FHF Gear laser rangefinder pouch. And that's pretty much what I carry here. Some will argue I need a med pack, and I'm probably should get put at least a tourniquet here. But this is pretty much my NRL22 gear as I finished up the season. And my spotting optic is still finished up the season with the Vortex Optics Viper HD 10x42s. I keep these in the Jeep all the time. They're pretty decent. They've worked pretty well as far as being able to spot targets at the 10x, and so I can see most stuff at 100 yards pretty easily, and I can usually keep most of the targets, unless in our range, if they're at upper levels, one's ground level, one's like at the top level at the 100 yard at the incline. Sometimes I can't, we need 2 spotters, but in general, if you're on a flat range, this will work great for NRL22. Any bino. 10x should be fine, 8x if you need more field of view. But that kind of sums up my gear. Winding down the NRL 2021-2022 season. There's going to be some changes though, and so I was wondering if I should just make this one single video to include that, or I should just be a standalone and have part 2 come up with my what's next, what's new moving into the 2022-2023 NRL 22 season. But I think we'll just close this out and keep this a standalone video. I think my gear is pretty much, works great. As you can see here, I'm running, pretty much top of the line rifle and optics. There's other people running RimX's. The new On-Shoot 1710 with the MDT chassis is coming out now, so there's a lot of people going to that. Well, not a lot of people, but some people going to that. And then my Z-Comp. The Z-Comp's a great optic. I'm really happy with that optic. I have 2 now. Might get a third. I might get the 420, but we'll see. And I'm still thinking about getting a Vudoo 360. I haven't shelled out the money yet, but certain things are happening right now with a new acquisition that should be coming in soon that could make it easier for me to build a 360 because I'll have, sort of extra parts. But that's pretty much the rifle here. And the bag situation, settled on this, but I've got so many bags, and if I change my mind on a certain situation, I can always switch bags. But this is kind of, this will hold me over for anything pretty much. And my supplementary gear, how I carry it, works great for me. if you have any other questions or comments about the gear that I've been running pretty much, or I've ran this past season, definitely hit me up in the comments and I can answer those as best I can. Then stay tuned for the next video about my gear for NRL22 because there will be some slight changes. And one to the rifle and one to my, one you probably already know with my auxiliary gear, but there are some slight changes here and we'll see how that goes. But next week that part should come in, maybe next week or the week after, and then I'll come out to the range and we'll see how the new rifle configuration works out. Anyway, thanks for watching. And if you have any other questions, just comment in the video comments and I'll answer those for you.